之窄，哇！踎低行，哇！哇！繼續行啦，唔好影住。嗰啲，哇！你咁樣起法，起法，跟住海龜。哇！好深喎！哇！行好多層，呢度起碼1層樓。哇！好深！哇！犀利！
You will see the 5th and 6th level on the way back.
哇！好深，已經落咗幾層啦已經。
What you see the one of the see the light at the bottom. That's the 8th level.
第8層嗰度。哇！
And they come in a lot.
哇！呢度好多層，你睇下。上一上去。咁有落啦。喂，越落越深，好犀利啊！挖到咁深，簡直勁啊！當時基督徒就係咁樣嚟避開啲阿拉伯軍隊嘅進攻。哇！都好密碼嘅，如果唔係點樣燈？哇！空頭啊！ 高啲個冚頭嘅，就窄。OK。哇！另一間房。
And at first there was a platform like that for rolling in. Probably when they opened the stone door, they used to put some rugs in front of it, and when they took, it used to close wide. Can I see first church?
哇！呢個好大嘅聚會地方喎，哇！好犀利啊！ 其實啲石頭都好硬嘅，所以佢哋點樣掘？呢度有闊啦。
We generally see most of the churches with frescoes, with the paintings, in order to tell the religion. And you can't see any fresco on this church wall. This cross shape generally is symmetric.
教堂，
And you see one arm.
即係用1、2個禮拜啫，因為喺度避開啲人，都係1、2個禮拜時間。
Continued until at the end of the using this underground cities, and probably they enlarged this. And while they were enlarging, they just gave up because they didn't need these underground cities in 13th century. Ottomans liberated them to leave their religion because all the Christians had to pay tax as other people, and Ottomans for that tax didn't do anything to the Christians. And you see the perfect garden style at this point. And for lightning, they use electricity. At what on this street, you see some holes like that all around underground street. And have you heard the linseed oil?
呢啲佢哋點油燈嘅窿嚟嘅。
There's a tunnel, and most of the guys tell that this was the prison. Prison for enemies. And if you look carefully, you can see the sunlight at the end. You see? And it is just directly open to the ventilation shaft, so it can't be prison. During the carbon, at first, maybe this was the connection with ventilation shaft for air circulation at this part. Later they opened another room, which we call 8th level. This is the 7th level. There are just 2 rooms, one grave room at that part we will see, and another one connection with ventilation shaft we call 8th level. This underground stay exactly has 7 levels. But they didn't need anymore. And this was the bus stop of the underground station.
Wow, 井嚟嘅呢個。
Okay, this is the well of underground city. You see place for pullery at these parts. And they used underground water. And also, we know they used ventilation shafts as well. And probably when the enemies came, they poisoned the well. And they couldn't use underground river water. Probably they used these wells. After that, they took a torch and have a look at this part. Don't get lost, okay? Okay, at this part, you see the semicircle tunnel. There's a saying telling, if you turn 3 times here, your sins will be forgiven. Would you like to try? I have no sin. 3 times. 3 times.
轉3次就唔記得咗方向。
True or not? I don't want to stay in the middle of there for a life.
Okay, there are some. Yeah,
睇下使唔使嗰邊出翻嚟先？你出到喎。Hello.
That's enough. So much. There are some possibilities for this tunnel. Generally, most of the guys tell that this was the confession place. Do you know the confession?
Confession
you go
place.
to church and tell your
祈禱
sins.
懺悔。
And we know that generally Orthodox lived here and they don't confess. And it can't be confession place. During one of the tour of my friend, he's another guy, he thought this was confession place. And among the group there was an Orthodox monk. And he told him Orthodox doesn't confess. We don't use.
所以唔係一個
Other
confession
possibility may be
place。
playground for children.
未必有一個 playground for
But I
children。
don't think that
唔知道。
in danger time
即係
playground.
實際點用？
And maybe
好，整呢個隧道入去睇下個地方。新房啊！哇！哇！呢個咁細嘅房嘅，啲咩嚟嘅？有咩睇？
as a grave, huge grave, and we think during the surrounding, when someone died, they buried him in that grave, and after danger went away, took him to the main graveyard. And you can ask if lots of people died during the surrounding, maybe they put them in that room and covered with some clothes in front of the tunnel. Okay.
一個隧道，佢話要放啲死咗嘅人㗎，係一間細房嚟嘅。哇！喺呢個冇樓梯嘅，哇！好黑。哇！哇！呢間房哇！ OK， 喺度擺屍體，點解喺度擺屍體？擺屍體
Small parts, small tunnels.
Small
And
tunnel.
this part, you see, that's the 6th level, we can say, and this was the 5th level. There's a tunnel at this part, and you see new walls again, most parts closed. There are some small rooms like that, small living rooms. And I have told you, they lived communal life, and do not think that every family had an own room. They slept together and they did almost everything together. And air circulation is so important for living rooms, we know. At that part you will see one of the ventilation shafts, and at the end of that tunnel there is another ventilation shaft. Living rooms with cuts between 2 ventilation shafts. And also we know this part was living rooms, and you see the place for television and for radio. And we can understand this is living rooms. And you see the telephone. Okay.
係另一條隧道，經過頭先嗰啲公屋之後，哇，開始急啦，好低下。
Some parts at this part for putting hay, for grass, we can say dry grass, and there are some holes like that for tying the animals at this part. And you see the hay? That's what I'm not lying. And now we will see the winery.
可能係跟住落另一間。我喺度呢間房搭到。哎，我叉咗一腳，又震一震。條廚房，條廚房。
Okay, this part was winery. You see over there a chimney, closed chimney today, big chimney. And here you see the small pool for crushing the grapes. Probably they were throwing the grapes from that chimney to here and crushing them. And there are some small holes like that, one there and another one at the corner. And grape juice was following that holes, and at this part there were big pots for collecting the grape juice. And for fermentation we know it needs cool temperature, little bit cold temperature, and it's very suitable for fermentation. After some while it transformed into wine. And we know that for Christians red wine was holy. Do you know anything about white?
Mm-hmm.
Is it holy too? White wine?
No, it's because in the Bible there is no specification between white and red, so all the wine is good.
You know, Jesus told that it is his blood.
That's right.
I did that anyway. And you see again new pots. During the excavations, lots of pots and other things were found, but these are new, they are in museums. And at that part, there are some stairs you see, and there's a tunnel, very long tunnel, which goes to a big room. Today it's not open, and they didn't, I mean Turkish government didn't clean the old part. And it's a big room, and at first we thought it was one of the church. And we know that churches were all built in cross shape, and it's not in cross shape. Maybe it was the meeting room or something like that for Christians. And you know, first wine was produced in Anatolia about 2000 BC by Hittites. And first beer was produced in Mesopotamia about 7000 BC. And probably it was Herodotus, I don't know actually, one of the Greek historian, I don't remember the exact name. And when he visited the underground city, he mentions about the wine. Okay, now water. And at this part you see the baptism pool and channel.
Mm-hmm.
And again other pool for collecting the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it's little bit deep, higher than the other baptism pools. And we can think like that. When the first Christians, monks and saints came here, there were lots of people, local people who weren't Christian. Later, they accepted Christianity as a religion. And probably they were baptized later times. And they were tall people, and probably it was built for that reason, a little bit higher. And at this part there's a painting.
古代浸詞啊，呢個就係頭先講嘅啦。
High platforms, and these parts were the tables for the school, and their biggest part of their life was religion, you know. And community leaders villages were monks and priests. And probably you see the steps over there going up, and at that point probably there was a monk or priest teaching the religion to the local people and children. And at this part there are some small rooms. For water.
Luôn. Sành có.
There are lots of schools here in bottom over there is one and white.
Họ vĩ đại.過嚟呢邊浸住。出嚟嘅呢度就係你嘅出口啦，喺呢度上翻嚟，德林古丘地下城，呢度係。又嚟到呢個 Lava Village。伸過去，睇下佢嗰啲雨點啊！
We'll have lunch.
呢個二喇灣獵人泉，我哋而家步行一段距離，喺個二喇灣嘅山谷，呢入口位，開始步行。喺度裏邊下低有起咗啲石鐘教堂嘅，睇係咪